Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Greetings of peace, my brothers, sisters, and warm greetings to everyone else. Um, I would like to start by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful, right? Or I want to try and talk about a kind of a important concept, important issue that we tend to forget, and we tend to kind of in the middle of our busy lives, we might actually just disregard and ultimately have lost the benefit of most of our deeds. That's actually a good deed, right? The topic or the concern here is, what is a good deed? Now, I think the most important question is, if you look at how we understand it. If you look at people who do good, right? When you say people who do good, they're always nice. They are very kind. They say good things to others. They help. They are very helpful. They give charity and they donate. This kind of thing is generally considered to be good. Now, who decided these are good? These are coming from a long time, right? Our parents, grandparents, their grandparents, everybody knows that these are good things, right? This is what good means. That's the general sentiment of things. So it's coming from somewhere. Somebody somewhere long time ago decided that these are good deeds, right? Now, when it comes to truly deciding what is good, whether I'm doing or whether you are doing, whether we are doing good deeds or bad deeds, the real decision, right? When we do something, figuring out whether it's good or bad, we need to ask ourselves a very important question: who created the rules, right? Who decides? Who is the person, or who is the being who decides that this is good and this is bad? Because what is good for me, right? I do something good and I say this is good, but it could really be bad for you. In the receiving end, there might be someone for whom my good deed is bad, right? Something as simple as cutting down a tree. Okay, maybe the tree is going to be a bit of a danger for the household, so I cut it down. So it's bad from that perspective. But for me, right, or rather, it's good from that perspective because I'm trying to save my family. But for another person, for an environmentalist, it could be bad because I'm cutting down a tree. This happens a lot, right? So it's very relative. So as you and me, human beings, we try to decide what is good and bad. Oh my god, this is a never ending loop. It's never gonna end, because what is good for me can be bad for you, and what is good for you can be bad for me. So who decides what is good or bad? The one above, the one who created everything, the one who created good and bad. He himself decides what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So we are really not in a position to decide this is good and this is bad. That's the first thing that I want to clarify when it comes to deciding what is good. This is why we say that there can be someone who their whole life they may have seemed to be doing good, but they could end up in hell. They could end up in hell because something is lacking in those good deeds that they did, right? They did not acknowledge the one who actually created them, and they did not, or they might not have acknowledged the fact that the creator was the one who decides what is good and what is bad, and failed to follow the commandments, right? So that is an important understanding we should have. Now, what is the best thing, or what is the best good deed in the world? That's the second question that I want to try and answer. And again, this is something relatively known, but it's something that we can try to simplify. See, in relation to you and me, okay, human beings, you and me, the best deed could be anything, right? It could be, most of the time, it could be helping someone, right? It's helping someone, because if you're able to make someone's heart feel at peace, maybe by a word, maybe by a smile, maybe by giving charity, donations, helping out physically, mentally. That seems to be the greatest thing, right? That seems to be amazing. The problem is it's not the best good deed. This is where we seem to have got things a little mixed up, because we think that if we are donating, if we are doing charity, if we are helping people, if we are vocal about social issues, and we are talkative, and we try to raise problems, and we try to educate the world and things like that, and we teach, and we keep all doing all these things, and we say, all right, we're good. Sure. But unfortunately, no, none of those things will work out unless you do this one good deed, which is believing in the Creator. Because the Creator is the one who owns everything. So if we fail to acknowledge Him, the one who started all this, the one who gave us this chance, the one who gave us this body, and the one who gave us these hands and the limbs and the mouth and the sight and ears and hearing and everything, breathing, heart, the one who created the sun and the moon for us to give us the night and the day, right? For us, the night to sleep and rest, the day for us to work, right? The one who created birds and animals for us to enjoy and bird watch and eat and, rear and use and utilize, the one who sent metal and sent iron to earth for us to fight and do battle, whatever. So if we fail to acknowledge Him, if we fail to believe in Him, there is really no point in any of the other good deeds that we do. Now, the other issue, okay, because one time, actually, I've heard this on a couple of occasions where I've heard, look, okay, fine, God created and God may exist. But why isn't God coming here and showing us Himself? I mean, God can just come down. Look, I'm here. And then there will be no problem in believing. See, there's an issue there. The issue is, who do we think we are? God to come down and show Him to us? Who are we? Right? Why would God even consider doing something like that? We are such puny beings with such short lives and so weak, and something like a simple fever can put us down. Flat in the bed for 3 months, gone. No chance. Right? A simple fever. Look at what COVID did. It's a simple virus that you can't even see with your eyes. Look at what it did. It crippled humanity. Right? 2 years, 3 years of humanity. We are still recovering. And we are starting to face the other repercussions of COVID with the economic pressures and the recession. There's a recession coming up, apparently. Interest rate hikes and inflation globally. Wars have ravaged. Battles have ensued. Governments are crippled. Everybody's fighting. There's division, right? The world is divided unlike ever before. I mean, those days it used to be that, the Second World War, it was allies. Europe and most of the European nations and America got together and fought the Japanese. Right? Look at what has happened now. If you take America alone, it's equally divided. It's almost 59 or 51, 49% divided between the right and the left. Within the country, right? You take South America, right? Bolsonaro, the whole election. You take my country, Sri Lanka. You take Canada, where I'm currently residing in. There's a whole drama going on between the right and the left, between Trudeau's party and the others. So anyway, this is who we are. And we who want God, who created everything, who is all powerful, right? As if He doesn't have anything else or anything better to do, and yet He is the most merciful. So He is listening to me talking and saying these things, and He knows everything that we are all doing. So we, in our arrogance, we want Him to come down. and show himself to us, and then we would believe? What kind of arrogance is this? This is arrogance at its height. No, there is something even more arrogant, right? That is when people say, I am God. There are people, right? There are people in the world who have said, I am God, worship me. That's the worst. That no chance. Okay, when the real God is there, and human beings come and say, I'm God, or we point at a stone or a tree or a star or the sun and the moon, and we say these are gods, worship them, and we worship all these other things. No, the Creator is not going to stand that. He will stand anything. He will be okay with anything. You've done murder, but you believe in me, you come to me, you ask for forgiveness. Okay, fine, I'll forgive you. Right? You've stolen. Sure, there is forgiveness. But you associate partners with me, no chance to you. Right? Eternal hell. That's it. So what we establish here is that the best good deed is to have faith. To say, La ilaha illallah, and to believe in the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The last one being Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But another analogy I can give you is a great example that I thought Dr. Zakir Naik shared in one of his videos when I was watching. He said, the testimony of faith, saying La ilaha illallah, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely from your heart, is like, it's the one question. If you take an exam paper, it's that question, the faith question, is 51 marks. The question is 51 marks. So let's say you have 50 questions. Out of that 50 questions, this question has 51 marks. And the rest of the 49 questions have 1 mark each. They have 1 mark each. So even if you get the remaining 49, all the 49, all of them right, how much do you get? 1 each, 49. You don't get 50. Right? Because the most amount of marks, 51 marks, is allocated to this question. The question of whether you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. If you don't pass this question, whether you do well in all of those other questions, doesn't matter. Khalas. It's over. But I do have a follow-up on this. In general, as a believer, right? So let's say you do believe and you earn some of those 51 marks, because getting the entire 51 out of 51 is very difficult. It's something at the prophetic and the Sahaba, the companion levels. So because faith is at different levels, different people have different levels of faith, which means different people are getting different amount of marks. But as a believer, as Muslims, we can't stop there. We have to keep striving. And this is an important concept. Why? Because the true, even those 59 or 49 questions, for us to reap the benefits of those good deeds, of all the other good deeds, salah, zakah, hajj, saum, charity, sadaqah, good deeds, good words, everything that we do, for us to reap the benefit, there's a way. There's a way in Islam to make sure that everything we do in life, absolutely everything we do in life, even if we go to sleep, there is a way in Islam to make it ibadah, to make it a worship, an act of worship. Going to sleep or going to the bathroom can be an act of worship. There's a way, there's a tariqah in Islam. What is that way? That way is to do everything as per Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's instructions. Islam is the only religion that has given excruciatingly detailed, not in a bad way, right? In a very good way, a very detailed manual of how to do everything in life. There's a way in Islam, in the religion, of how to go to the bathroom also, how to take a shower, how to come out of the bathroom, how to go to sleep, how to wake up. Everything is there. What to do when it's raining, what not to do when it's raining. Everything, absolutely everything is clarified in Islam. It's a complete way of life. So the way, and see, isn't this remarkable? Isn't it beautiful to know that everything we do, even if it's something simple, even if me making this video, it can be an act of worship, and I can gain rewards, and I can gain good blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if I do it in that tariqah, in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded me to do things. I'm speaking here, right? There's a very, very specific way of how man is commanded to speak in Islam. There are words I should use, there's a way I should talk, there are things I shouldn't say, etc., etc. So if I don't use all of that, it's going to be an issue. The other aspect is, not only we do them in the way Allah has prescribed us to do, but we also have to do those things for His pleasure alone. We do things only for Him and for His pleasure. But what happens in the world? What are we doing? What are we doing? When we look at how we live, we go shopping, we buy things that we want to, bring home. We buy everything that we want to make ourselves happy. We go, we drink alcohol, and we gamble, and we deal in interest, right? We loan money and get for usury, for interest, and gain extra for work that we didn't even do, right? We slander, we post things on social media, we post photos. This is all that these things we do, right? We scold, we shout at our parents, we scold our friends, we get into trouble, we smoke, we do all kinds of things in the dunya to make who happy? What are people doing? We do these things to make ourselves happy. Most of the things we do, isn't that the truth? Right? We do it to make ourselves happy. I feel at a level of family, sometimes as a husband, right? As a husband, okay, I have to provide for my family. It's my responsibility. And then, I do that. But am I doing it when I do provide, when I'm able to provide to my family, right? When I'm able to, put food on the table, give the family what they need, etc. Who is it making happy? Is it making me happy? Am I being happy? Right? Then I like to do more, so I like to earn more, and then put more food on the table, so I'm even more happier. So just think sincerely, who is it making you happy? Right? Your efforts, is it making you happy? Is it making it? I feel that sometimes. I feel that when I'm able to, buy something that my wife wants, or my mom wants, or my brother wants, give them, I feel a sense of happiness. Wow, I've done something. But who do we need to truly do it for? Allah has commanded, take care of your family. Right? It's been commanded to all of us. Take care of your family. Right? Be good to your kin. Be good to your relatives. Right? So, do we need to do it for our happiness or Allah's happiness? If we do it for our happiness and their happiness and our mom's happiness and our parents' happiness and our brother's happiness and our child's happiness, our wife's happiness, this is not going to be an act of worship. Of course, they will be happy. Of course, you can be happy, but that cannot be the sole objective. Now, what happens with people, especially in this economy, having migrated here, this Western culture and Western world, my goodness, you won't believe it. Shopping is like I'm kind of fed up. Okay, you walk into a Costco here. I mean, you can't really explore it even if you go to it 10 times. And it's a never ending cycle of buying. Buy, promotions, that and this, to the point that they keep mailing large books, right, that feature their products on a monthly or seasonal basis. buying is a big deal here, to the point that, you might, if we have this knowledge, and we might do things okay as we start off. I feel that as we start off, we might do things okay, we are doing it for the pleasure of Allah. What happens is that you keep on buying, 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 and then slowly your pleasure is also getting mixed. So, okay, you're doing it for Allah's happiness, fine, but now I'm also getting happy. I'm buying these new things, I'm buying the new phones and the new gadgets and the new things and the good food and all that. And slowly, Allah's happiness is getting mixed with my happiness. And then you keep on going. This is what I'm afraid of. You keep on going and you keep getting lost. So, what you do is you want those fancy things that are, dunya, pleasurable stuff. And then you want to then, to facilitate that, you want to earn money, right? You want more money. Of course, without the money, you can't do this. So then you get stuck on the money aspect, which means you're trying to earn more. Now, what's happening when you're trying to earn more? The zikr goes down, Quran reciting goes down. You're always busy. You're not doing your salah properly. You give up your voluntary prayers if you're doing them. You don't wake up. There's no tahajjud or witr or sunnah or nafil or istikhara or nothing. Slowly you're just barely managing with the obligatory duties. Slowly what has happened is your happiness. Yes, you're doing acts of worship, but now what has happened is slowly Allah's pleasure has gone down the kitchen door. It's out. Now your happiness. Now the more you are doing to your family, the more you are happy, right? The more you get happy, and ultimately you get lost in that. Now what has happened? You're doing all these things for your family, but the ibadah in it, the barakah in it, it's gone, because you're not doing it for Allah's pleasure. Because one thing we have to remember, and what that everybody seems to have forgotten, or we seem to forget continuously and consistently, is that rizq, right? Sustenance, it's not given to us by ourselves. It's not our hard work or whatever we do. It's Allah. He is Ar-Razak. He is the one who sends all this. He's the one who sends down the rain, right? So who are we to think that even if we are putting food on the table, that it is us who's putting food on the table? It's not us, right? Allah is using us to feed our family, right? By us working, putting our effort, and then us getting the food, Allah is giving us, and what He's actually doing is He's using us to feed our family, to take care of our wife, our children. This is what we need to understand. If we forget it, if we think that we are the big shot, we are the one who did it, right? And we forget the pleasure of Allah, that's when our doom begins. Subhanallah. So this is the message. This is the message that I wanted to convey as a reminder. It's a very basic principle, but it's a very important principle. I feel is something that we need to continuously and consistently remind ourselves of. Because when we tend to forget it, one, the sincerity in our hearts, it goes away. We become insincere people, because we are doing everything for our pleasure, for worldly pleasures that don't last, that have no value. The other aspect is the benefit of all those acts, which should be ibadah, and the reward we will only gain if it's pleasurable in Allah's eyes, is that we are losing the benefit. Because of the fact that even though we tend to be doing good deeds as believers, we believe in Allah and then we are doing good deeds. But what happens is we are not really doing it for the pleasure of Allah, and we are losing all the barakah in it. I don't think we should let it happen. Yes, we can work, we earn, we put food on the table, we do everything that we have to do, but we do it only for the sake of Allah, only for the pleasure of Allah, only to make Him happy. Allah, I did it for you. I did it for you. We should be able to say that on Qiyamah, right? We should be able to say that. If we truly, sincerely, I think we still have a chance. If we can say that, I truly believe that we as Muslims, as believers, we will have a chance to somehow, I truly wish to not experience that the believers in the world do not experience hellfire, right? I wish that. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us that, to grant us Jannah, to grant us Jannatul Firdaus, but also to not punish us, right? To save us from the fire. Allahumma jarna minan nar. Ya Allah, save us from the fire. Protect us from the fire. Insha'Allah ta'ala. On that note, I will see you around. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything, for the good wishes, for any kind of support or dua you're making. Alhamdulillah. I will see you soon. Subhanallahi wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.